Hey, how you guys doing? It's producer My Brothers Comics. Welcome to What We Missed in Wrestling, our recap podcast of professional wrestling in the early 90s. We are in 1991, y'all. We just finished the WWF pay-per-view, and in the alternating group here, we are moving into WCW. It is WrestleWar 1991. We'll get into all of that in a moment. On the line is Brother Beavis. Say what's happening.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, man. Recording on a Saturday night, not the 6:05 one. And the Braves freaking got beat in the playoffs, so that helps. But yeah, it's 1991, y'all. February of 91. Where were you in February of 91?
So this is now in the middle years of college where I'm alternating co-op, and I think this is now the first time I'm back in the motherland
Mm,
while most people are not there, and this is where my comic book buying started back up because I had
mm,
free time and disposable income.
nice. So a lot of our Daytonian friends had either moved on, gone on, or
Well, you were out. That's
yeah, I was
primarily what I was
definitely out.
referring to. But no, then I was playing various forms of Dungeons and Dragons with
Mm.
our indigenous peoples.
Yeah, February of 91. Obviously in college, spring would have even not Edinburgh. Spring is June, but we would have been in like training mode for like getting ready for spring break for tennis. So Hilton Head or wherever the hell they took us for that. So that would have been indoor courts because it was way too cold and way too much snow. Driving all the way to those, practicing like from 6 to 9 o'clock at night, getting back. I mean, it was rough back then in terms of trying to manage that and college and all that. So yeah, that's definitely where I would have been. Definitely not watching any wrestling. So
Yeah,
let's set
see,
the.
so not having any aptitude that anyone else cared about, my
Oh
time was
no.
my own. Yeah. So
Yeah. Hey, and for me, I mean, you could probably know this about me too. I am not really about talking to people about tennis, even if they're on my team. Like I just everything, I just hate everybody, and so I was headphones in all the way to ride up, all the way to ride back. I'm not trying to, kind of competitive in that regard, but
kind of
uh,
like Eminem, and you were just riding the bus
yeah.
and like working on your life
Y'all my
story.
raps, yes,
Yeah,
yes, all my
yeah.
raps, mom spaghetti, yo. All right, so um set the show. So we got 10 matches tonight. We'll do our Wikipedia facts because they're never ever wrong. And then we'll
Never.
look ahead to the next pay-per-views for each one. We got a big daddy of them all here coming up soon as our next WWF one, but whatever. All right, so February 24th, 1991 at the Arizona Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, 6,800 in attendance. I have a rebuttal or an interjection. Them people didn't care about this shit.
Yeah,
That crowd is dead, except for the
yeah.
superstars. Like if you were on the undercard, you were wrestling for crickets.
So
Uh,
let's revisit this when our watch along happens because I was like, is this happening right now? Because yes, or is this synthetic or what? So let's revisit that again in at 17 minutes, not on
yes,
this
exactly.
but the other.
Because holy cow, yeah, this is also going to be one of our for WCW, one of our biggest RIP podcasts because for whatever reason these people didn't die till later, but there's quite a few deaths here coming up. Commentary: Jim Ross and Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes literally fresh out of the WWF. Him and Dustin Rhodes, which will come up later on too. I mean he couldn't have been out for 6 weeks, and
Um,
additionally, he has the book as well. Go ahead.
yeah, was he at the last?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
no,
got
he was.
beat
Yeah,
by
they were
Ted
both there,
DiBiase.
and that
Yeah, they
was
were
in
both
January.
there.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
not even 6 weeks. It's like somewhere between a month.
Yep. And he has the book as well. And Dusty been put back as the booker as well. Unsurprisingly, his son in a top spot on the babyface side. Cough, cough, cough. But yeah, they're
Well, all right. So let me make 2 points there. So number one, like it feels going into this that like Dusty is like trying very hard to like diminish himself. He is not the polka dot. We are limited. None of all of that is gone. And he's like, well, Mister, Jim Ross, I
Mm,
gotta tell you, like almost like Ernie Ladd level like commentary
mm-hmm.
for the first few matches.
Yeah,
He doesn't shill for for Dustin. And then I'm watching Dustin's match and I'm like, yeah, they could have like they could have made him the new Dusty and made
yeah.
him the star. And I think somewhere that fell apart. But the other thing I noticed was right around match 4,
Which
that's where Dusty came alive with the
okay.
Japanese female tag
Uh,
team match.
uh,
That's when Dusty came alive, and I was like, I was howling because he
yeah.
was like, all the way up to that point, he was, if you will, Dusty Rhodes, champion from Florida and the Mid South area, and then
Mm,
after that, I was like, then he was all about Miss A and da da da. Yeah, so
yeah,
Dusty
he.
went through a transformation on this. I think he was like forcibly trying to like make people forget about the polka dot era where he was so over the top that he was already over. But
Yeah. Before I started recording, Freaking Sesame Street sponsored by its letter. This podcast will be sponsored by casual racism,
oh yeah.
because it's not great, particularly in that Japanese ladies match.
Well, to be fair, it's all isms.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and now you should say that before we even get into this too. So we are in the Gulf War, I think at this point, if we
Yeah,
did our historical thing, they don't bother touching that at all here. It's alluded to, but the overt jingoism that we got from the WWF is completely missing in this. Sting's like got on his red, white, and blue trunks, but there's no flag waving. There's no black ladies singing a 7-minute version of the national anthem. Nothing. None of that
yeah.
stuff is here. And it's very, I guess it's kind of surprising, and why it didn't happen is probably the better question.
I
So
mean, but they don't really have like the real American on the roster.
yeah, but why don't you, like, we're supporting the troops, we're wearing the yellow thing. Like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
WWF went over the top, but
Yeah, I mean
you
they
know,
they did all that during the well, probably because this is the crossover with Japan,
yeah,
right? So last time it was the international tournament and it
mm,
was pretty tame until the very end, and then the Steiners were the greatest Americans since George
yes,
Washington, and
man, my God,
yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, it's just
So
weird.
I think perhaps because this is the start of the relationship with New Japan Professional Wrestling,
Yeah,
or
I
at
don't
least
know.
the start of the relationship that we're being presented with.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and again, we'll get to that match here momentarily. But yeah, so yeah, 10 matches. I think 11. It was a dark match as well, but we won't talk about that. So first up, match number one, y'all. It's for the
Well, we don't talk about it, but
who's
fucking
in
Eddie
it.
Guerrero is on the dark
Oh,
match, like a
okay. Yeah, I think I did read that in Wikipedia. Yeah.
future fucking WWF champion, and this is like, you know, the another testament to the degree that like all the talent that with the luchadors and Eddie Guerrero and then like into the Nitro era, like all the talent they had that was just like
No, yeah, by
curtain
the way.
jerking, and
Yeah.
yet went on to tremendous degrees of success in other areas.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of curtain jerking, the first match, y'all, for the 6-man tag team championship, the WCW tag team championship. Okay, so first off, back in our day, Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors was the 6-man tag team champions in
yes,
WJ. And they defended every once and then on Worldwide. We'd get a match or something like that. And it would usually be against like big stars. They weren't, beating, George South and 2 other people. So it was like whenever you got a 6-man tag team championship, or you would even forget that there was a 6-man tag team
right.
title until they told you that these people
Because
was the championship,
they
right?
didn't have belts, did they? Wasn't there
Uh,
like a trophy or
I
something?
don't remember, but all I know is like, oh, well, it's Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors. Bet. So when this first match rolls out and they're like, oh, it's for the 6-man tag team championship, our champions, Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich, and the Junkyard Dog. I'm like, come on, son. Really? Really? And they are freaking curtain jerking this first match here. A former NWA champion, a former, well, at this point, a 3-time NWA World Tag Team champion, the biggest star in Mid South Wrestling ever. Now looking like he ate the biggest star in Mid South Wrestling
Yeah.
ever. Versus who the State Patrol, And who was there? And Curtis Hughes is how I remember him, the big cat or
Right.
whatever. Like this is
So,
terrible, man.
what? Why is the big cat with the state patrol?
Yeah.
This is
Mm,
like we rolled up and we had this dude in the back of the car, so we got to
yeah.
go wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's clearly the implication, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he's been apprehended and now
Mm,
compelled to wrestle.
yeah. I, and I think when I first watched this
You
the first time, I
you
text y'all.
you
I was
you
like,
sent the picture of them coming out like this
mm,
clown show, and then
yeah,
you made another comment
yeah.
about
James
James Earl
Earl.
Wright.
Yeah, James Earl Wright. Really? That's what we're doing here? Like with one of the people, and again, in a Georgia-based company, you have James Earl Wright as a part of the state patrol. And again, it's not like even they learned their lesson from this because later on you're gonna be like, oh, they learned their lesson about the Southern boys, but they didn't.
Yeah,
And then later on, I mean, not even too much long from here, you're gonna get Colonel Buddy Lee Parker out of this shit
yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
they don't learn their lessons. So I mean, State Patrol, okay, whatever. This is their playoff or what? I guess, Big Bubba being
Probably.
whatever yeah, that he is in the WCW or WWF at the time. But come on, man. Like this is terrible. It's just a bad gimmick. It's like a racist ass gimmick too. And then on top of that, you put him in this match against, three dudes who have definitely seen their better days. I mean, I hate to say that about Ricky Morton at this point, but he'd seen better days at this point. And it's just a bullshit match. It's just a reason to put Ricky in there so he could sell and then to get a comeback for Dog to hit a weak ass stump and there's the pinfall or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much. And the other thing Buddy Lee Parker ran the power plant,
mm-hmm.
which was generally regarded as the
Worst
lack
training facility
lack of
ever.
influx of talent into WCW, which probably contributed to killing the franchise. But
Yeah, he's terrible. It's just bad. And then yeah, whatever. I did go back and look on the Wikipedia's there. We click the links. So they're the 16 tag team champions. They defeated Buddy Landell, Dutch Mantel,
I
and
saw that
Doctor
too.
X. Yeah, or Moondog Rex for the championship. Okay, I'm sure that was a dark match somewhere
Yeah, and
because
I was wondering like what is the
the
lineage of the
connection.
six-man title that we were aware of, which was Road Warriors and Dusty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I,
Yeah, exactly. Now those are called trios matches, kids.
uh,
And there's a trio championship in the AEW, who I think I want to say it went back to the Young Bucks and somebody else, but
no,
I'm not
it's the
100%.
claim, right? The claimed and Billy Gunn
Billy
right now
Gunn.
have it.
Okay, got it. Yeah. All right. Good to know. So yeah, bullshit match. Didn't really matter. Just a start of the card. And this is the start of, oh my God, nobody cares about this shit because they didn't care. Ricky getting beat all to be damned did not elicit any like cheers, cries, and tears from anybody. It was just another match. So, all right. Match two, y'all. Wait, let me see. Make sure I get through my nuts. Match sucks. All the participants suck. JYB pins a state control after a big splash. Love. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, this is terrible. All right. And so then we get a promo out before we get into match number two with Terrence. He's not even Terrence Taylor yet. They didn't even go commit to that. He's still Terry Taylor with Miss Alexandra York talking about he's going to beat the Z-Man, I think, in however many minutes or whatever. And the Z-Man sucks. If we
Wait,
talk
wait, what happened? You're a match seven?
No, I'm talking about there was a promo in between
Oh,
match
okay,
one and
okay, yeah.
match two. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Okay.
they're like Z-Man sucks. And we
Yeah,
talk
they
about
just knew
Free
he was going
Birds.
to be the next superstar, right?
Yeah.
Like he looks
Mm-hmm.
great,
Mm-hmm.
apparently can't talk, and I don't know what other problems he has.
I mean, we go through like people that be on all these pay-per-views and we've ran into Freebirds down. Z-Man, he got to be close to it too, because he's
Yeah.
almost on every one of these. And I don't think we've ever seen his ass win a match. Spoiler alert.
Mm-mm,
All right.
mm-mm.
So our watch along here, y'all, is match number two. It is Brad Armstrong, RIP 2012, versus Bobby Eaton, RIP 2021. Again, two of the best workers in the traditional sense. Neither one of them could talk at all. Uh, Beautiful Bobby, obviously, one half of the greatest tag team possibly of all time. Brad Armstrong, just a great worker. I mean, I remember watching him work in Georgia and with my as a child watching wrestling with my aunt back in the day. You know, the Armstrong family, just an absolute great worker. Like nothing, everything looks good. He's so smooth in the ring, but he could not talk for be damned. And then Bobby Eaton, I would say, is worse as
Yeah.
being somebody to talk because he never wanted to talk at all. So it
Yeah, I think
always
they
had been a
probably
mouthpiece.
actually put a microphone in front of Brad Armstrong occasionally, and
Yes.
it never was particularly great. But Bobby, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell him, Jim. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
basically
really.
it. I mean, you know, again, we can't take anything away from him in the ring. So if you're loading up your Peacock here, it's going to be our watch long. It's about 12 minutes. We're going to pick up at literally 17 minutes in the pay per view. So go ahead and get that all set up. Before this gets started, we won't be if you're on YouTube, you won't be seeing this here because it'll get clipped. Um, Dusty says something as he's coming to the ring but Bobby's going to have a singles championship sometime in 1991. Now
Yeah.
remember, Dusty has the book, so and it does happen. I believe. I think Bobby winds up winning the TV
The
championship.
TV
I think
title
this
from
year.
Arn, right?
Yeah. So, and I'm sure those matches are great too, because Arn's great. It's gonna sell
Yeah.
for him. Like, I mean, I'm sure they're really good. So, yeah. So load up your Peacock, y'all. 17 minutes. And I loaded up here. I had it all set up, and then we'll do a 3, 2, 1 count. And we'll get started. All right. I'm set up. All right, y'all. Make sure I don't have any other notes about this. Okay. So on the 3, 2, 1, y'all. At 17 minutes. 3, 2, 1, and go. The double ring is set up for the war games. We probably should have introduced that, but it'll come up later anyway. Speaking of things that fell off a little bit. See, look, Brad Armstrong's got the USA trunks and all that, but they do not go over this at all. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we're in war.
Yeah, so when he comes down, like the crowd, either the crowd or the crowd is just cheering Bobby, Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
Bobby like crazy. I
Right.
was like, for real?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is this like a heel town or
Mm-hmm.
what's going
Yeah, it's
on?
from Phoenix. Yeah. It's so funny. Okay, you see all these black people in the front row, right? Like
Mm.
some of this shit. Like when that Japanese match come on, them black people ain't there. Just letting you
Ah,
know. It's all Japanese folks. And I'm like, something changed.
the seat fillers.
I guess. It's probably, I mean, those people probably came over. They're getting this biggest shot they're ever going to get here in the States. Their family probably came over and like had to give them seats. But so, yeah, I mean, this is classic wrestling, y'all. Arm drags, hip toss, backdrops, you know, work a body part and all of that. But again, the crowd,
Mm.
pocket,
The
look at
punch.
his punch. Good Lord.
You
Podcast
can hear
also,
all that way back to Alabama.
yeah, podcast also sponsored by Mullets. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brad Armstrong sporting the Bishop haircut.
Yeah. Oh, and another arm drag. He gets down deep to
Yeah.
an arm bar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that he's so freaking good, but he couldn't talk his way out of a fucking bag,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, this was the obvious watch long, but this is like 12 minutes of like
Classic
enjoying this.
wrestling. Yeah, I understand. I understand. You know, we could
Bobby's
fast forward.
actually in pretty good shape here.
Yes, agreed.
Um,
And I think he's
like
in
he's
better
slimmed
shape.
down some.
Yeah, when he gets to his championship run or whatever, I think he's actually in better shape too. You know, it's because it's like whatever, giving babyfaces mouthpieces. I guess it wouldn't have really worked to have somebody come out and talk for him.
You know what would have been cool, like at this point, if Robert, I know this is like this would insane,
Mm,
but like if like Ricky Morton and Bobby Eaton
tag
just
together.
like randomly made a tag, like
Hmm.
or we're feuding with somebody, like that would have been amazing.
Yeah, I haven't. I've
Like
seen.
and
Go
you could
ahead,
have worked that, like they could have come together to fight somebody, and then one of them's gonna, well, Bobby's gonna
Bobby.
eventually turn on Ricky.
Hmm.
That would have been great.
Yeah, I saw that thing on YouTube or whatever about like when Cornette had Smoky Mountain, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
when the Rock and Roll were there and they needed a mystery partner or whatever, and it wound up being Arn. Like he had brought him out, like he was covered and something like that, and it wound up being Arn, and the people went ape shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I guess Arn teaming with the Rock and Roll would be something that nobody would expect. Oh, don't you push me? So of the famous Armstrong brothers, obviously he's Brad, and then there's what Steve that's also on the card tonight.
Yeah.
With
Steve's.
the and then there's whichever one becomes the dude in the DX. Was that James? I think
Oh,
that's
yeah. Well, he's
yeah.
not even. But then who? So they keep talking about he has a brothers in Desert Storm. Who is that?
I think that might be Road Dog.
Really?
I think so.
Road Dog was in the war?
Yeah, I mean, he got that PTSD. I smoke rock. So,
Oh,
it's terrible. So
something you didn't know about me. I
something you
smoke
didn't know
crack.
about me, Jim Ross. I smoke rock. Terrible.
It's
Uh,
awful.
he served our country.
We don't know that.
Well, I don't know if he smoked rock, but I think his career was
Oh
definitely.
yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
was
a
in the
great movie.
Marines. Yeah, it
Me
was
too.
him.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, look at that flying crossbody.
That's
Too.
something
Oh.
you didn't know about me, Jim Ross. I was in Desert Storm, not smoking rocks,
Not
no matter
smoking
what the
rock
producer says.
because they didn't have rock there.
But if they did, I
But
probably
if
would
they
have
did,
smoked
I
them.
would have smoked it.
uh,
Oh my
so
gosh.
so yes, we love classic wrestling, but
Yeah.
there's not a lot to talk about.
But yeah, but it's also like it's also a cold match in that regard too. Like I don't know if there's any rivalry between these two. So,
This seems like the start of, like, obviously they're gonna push Bobby as a single because
mhm,
they still have him on the roster. They lost the rest of Midnight Express, and so this is obviously like we got to get him over somebody who's gonna be a credible opponent. And even though Brad Armstrong hasn't beaten anybody north of George South in
yeah,
5 years, like,
yeah.
it's gonna look good while he's doing it.
Mm.
Slingshot
So,
suplex
oh no.
reverse into, oh
Oh, that's good stuff there.
yeah.
That's great stuff. Yeah, that's great. I didn't remember that slingshot. Yeah, come on, I'm a baby face. I can't kick him, but I will. And again, Brad Armstrong makes it into the Nitro era. He's a part of the West Texas Outlaws or whatever,
Mm,
and the I
let's
Hate
don't
Rap crap group.
let's don't let's don't have that
Well,
conversation.
again, WCW never learned their lesson, y'all,
No.
at all.
Yeah, they
So
might have been world, but they were still based in Georgia. So
yes, exactly. And I mean, look, it Rapid was it Rapid's crap? I think that's what it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
And they were, but again, that's also
Oh, Jason Hervey.
oh yeah, also the fall.
The big stars.
Yes,
Big stars like Jason Hervey.
WrestleMania guy. Oh my god, that clothesline. He's dead.
High impact move by Eaton.
And see, he is getting cheered as the baby face,
Yeah,
because nobody cares about Brad Armstrong.
I know.
And
Just
then
sad.
And I mean, again, I remember watching all this stuff with him and his dad, with Bullet Bob, all that when I was a kid, man. Oh man, that's a great
That's
move
bad.
too. Yeah, Bobby can do all this crap. He can do everything. I mean, again, I get the fact that he had to stay because he had like kids and a wife. Like, I mean, I understand that. Like, look, I gotta feed these people. You not can't like, oh, I'm gonna go with your underground starting wrestling promotion, Mr. Cornette. Like, I need a steady check. I get it. I can totally understand why he didn't, go. Oh,
They took care of him for a while,
yeah. I mean, they
but
tried. Well, he's
he
gonna,
was, by the Nitro era, he
yeah.
was enhancement talent, like
But he's
Jobber to
gonna
the
wind up in a
Stars.
great. He's gonna wind up in a
Oh yeah,
group
the Dangerous
soon too. Yeah,
Alliance.
the Dangerous Alliance. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no, they took care of him for a while.
yeah, with what Stone Cold, Arn, Paul Lee. I think
I
there's one.
think you mean stunning
Yeah,
Steve
sorry.
Austin.
Yeah, and then what is And what? Who is Zabisco
Zabisco.
in that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Arn,
conversation
Brian
for later,
Pillman.
by the way.
I think Pillman was in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Muda.
apparently Muda's just in the crowd.
Yeah, hey, how
He's
you
a
doing?
wrestling fan just like us.
Yes, he got good seats. Former WCW World TV Champ.
It's
Is the
crazy
black?
that he ascended to the level of TV champion.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just had his retirement match a few months ago himself.
You're telling me the black people in the front row are shoveled out for the next match?
Japanese folks, yes, absolutely. Like
Wow.
you'll see them later on, but they are definitely not there for a couple of seats. And my man, like with the white hat on there, that's like right in front
Oh
of the
yeah.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he and the family that's all there, they are fired up, man. They are like enjoying this stuff. Uh-oh.
That the kid with the flat top
Hmm.
and the striped shirt
Yeah.
seems like he might be like being held hostage.
It's like I don't want to be here. But his brother next to him,
Yeah.
definitely into it. Oh, nice.
Oh, slingshot
Oh,
backbreaker.
ah, working on one body part. My God.
So Brad
He-
Armstrong worked on the arm. Bobby's working on the back. They
Pee Wee
both have
Anderson.
mullets.
No, yeah. Pee Wee Anderson, RIP as well.
Wow.
Yeah, he
So
died a while
literally
ago.
everybody in the
Everybody
ring
in this
now is
ring.
dead.
Yeah, correct. And if you want to do commentary, we're 4 for 5 here, or 3 for 4, because this is bad. This, I mean, again, for WCW, for whatever reason, a lot of these people made it through. WWF, mm, not so
I think
great.
well, there was a perhaps a higher level of steroid use.
Yeah, well, they may or may have not have been injecting horse hormones. Yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, my
Oops.
God, here we go. That guy
That
got an
hat
anthrax
that's
t-shirt
not
on.
his hat. That
Mm.
that hat does not fit his head.
The kid had
Um,
an anthrax shirt on.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, and kind of behind the black dude with the white hat on,
Hmm.
with the white hat on himself. That's an anthrax shirt. I'm like, oh, look at this. Nobody's out on the floor for any extended period of times. No chairs.
He does kind of have the American flag just plastered on his ass.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, but also again, they only reference this war. You know,
And the road
and again,
dogs out there fighting and dying in the Marines.
smoking rock.
I
I
would.
think I think his rock smoking didn't start until after he became a wrestler. To be fair, because again, it's not exactly a clean profession in his day for sure. I hear people talk about that all the time, like, oh, these wrestlers nowadays are, they're not on somas and all of that stuff and all the steroids and all of that, and they're
Yeah, because they have health care and they get
yeah.
hurt so they can take time off.
Well, and they also not working 6 out of 7 days a week. Oh, rest
Yeah.
hold. Um, yeah, so I
You,
think that probably has
are
a
you
lot more to do.
disparaging the abdominal stretch?
No, not the cheating version. Look at that. Yeah, classic heel move.
Uh, uh.
Yeah, I ain't do nothing. You talking like that, jailbird, Pee Wee.
This this guy in someone else's hat is upset.
Yeah, he's not happy. Yeah, that's how Sandman's brother was when we went, like, and he lost us at the hair. I mean, he was like way into it. And I was into it, but not like that. You can see all those empty seats in there, by the way. 6,800 is not paid. Oh,
Bobby's balls.
yes. Great selling. Come back.
Yeah, they missed an opportunity. They could have put a Ricky Morton and Bobby Eaton team
Yeah.
together and then broke it apart and made even more money. That would have been. Oh,
Yeah, there's versus
oh
leg
my God!
sweep. The rest that was my move.
That's his finish. One,
Yeah.
two.
Puts
I
that.
appreciate that he had to like get the row break to get out of
Mm,
his finish. I appreciate that.
nice. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Nah, we're neck
neck
breaker.
breaker.
Alabama Jam. Let's go.
Yep, that's a setup.
It's a great. And again, I can't believe his body is not destroyed from doing
It,
this move.
it was.
Yeah.
Turns out it was.
Mm. I mean, he's not that close. Alabama Jam, my God. Crowd cheering is what it says on the the
Yep.
captions.
Yep.
You me? Yeah. Good job, Bobby. All right, we'll stop here. Good match. Classic wrestling for sure. Nothing wrong with that. Again, you have two dudes that again couldn't talk at all. So we got that part. So, all right, let's go. Great match. All right. So we talked about this a little bit. You did more work than I did, sir. Next up is the Japanese ladies tag team match. I watched it, but I didn't. What's the tooth and nail rule? No Britt Baker stuff for Cornette. This was kind of where I was here because I'm like, and then again, the casual racism did not help at all. And again,
Yeah.
I understand that they're trying to have this thing with New Japan, and you're trying to do that. I'm like, but why this match? Why these ladies? Like, it just didn't make any sense. Help me
No.
out here.
I mean, so like I said, this is where Dusty perked up and he was all about Miss A, who
Mm,
was like who was the legitimately the biggest competitor in this
yes,
match.
by
But
far.
she got pinned by old school Riho
Yeah,
in this match.
yeah, yeah. That's true. I could not, and yeah, man, it was.
Yeah. So
It's
whatever
not even
Dusty was
casual
trying to
racism.
do up to this point,
Yeah,
like old Dusty came out because
yeah.
he was
But
like,
I think, well, he probably felt that he had to oversell it because the crowd was like, "What are we doing here? We don't know any of these people." It's also ladies wrestling, which never got featured. I think they said it was the first ladies match on a pay per view. So ladies tag match.
yes.
Was that, yeah, none we have
Well,
seen since we've been watching. Well, at least WCW.
ladies tag or ladies period.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any ladies matches on
No,
WCW.
there's
So
not
I mean, and then again, I was like, all right, well,
until a Lunder Blaze comes. I don't think there is
Jata,
a.
yeah, yeah. I always look at her and I'm like, man, I bet she voted for Trump. It's gonna
I
just
don't
ruin
know.
me.
She seems pretty normal. She's been
Yeah,
on the dark side stuff. She did,
yeah,
yeah,
it's close.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to know.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm comfortable assuming she didn't.
yeah.
So
But I know rebuttal. All right, so um, yeah, I didn't watch this match. I mean, I watched it, but I didn't take any notes on it. My notes there say why, who, and why.
yeah,
Like, it just makes no sense. So we're gonna keep on moving on from that one. Next up, y'all. Buddy Landale, RIP, from 2015 versus Dustin Rhodes. Again, fresh off his run in WWF. So we've seen Buddy Landale intermittently, as we've been doing this. By far in the best shape that he's been since we saw any of
yeah.
these matches. Like, he's in really good shape here. Again, I smoke rock.
Mm.
Yeah, that was his downfall. I think a car accident was the official downfall, but I don't think it was a sober accident. And um, but he looks really good. You can see, and he wrestles really well too. You can see why people would have faith in him, except he had demons basically, and he was not reliable. I think that what they said, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going. That's but that's Buddy Landale. So yeah, I mean, it's a decent match, and again, you alluded to it. Dustin is a star, like he's literally a star.
The thing I'm thinking about sitting here is like, could you plug Dustin back into the Dusty role? But I think the Dusty role is like disintegrated.
Right.
Like there's no Road Warriors, there's no Magnum. Like I mean, Dusty would have glommed himself onto the Steiners,
Mm-hmm.
but they're on their way out.
Yeah.
But they're still here. Like obviously, like Sting's a bigger star. Yeah, I mean, like he was ripe to be plugged right back into the Dusty role, but I think the Dusty role disintegrated by now.
But I also think, I mean, again, we've heard those stories on Cornette's podcast about what Nick Goulis's son and Eric Watts and all of
Oh,
that, like, so I'm sure there's a lot of pressure to not push your kid to the top of the card.
yeah, but I'm
And
but also like I'm I would bet there's an inherent resistance from the boys,
Mm-hmm.
from somebody's son, but Dustin is so much better than everybody
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Like Dustin's better than Dusty.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I mean, he was the natural, I think, is his original
Yeah.
gimmick. And I mean, he's so good. You
Yeah.
know, he's I mean, he's
We're
really in the Magnum role at this
yeah,
point with Dusty being there.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna see like I think we're gonna see a year or so of him like maybe more than that, but like we're gonna see a year or so of him at the top of the card with but I feel like he never like fit in with like a faction of other folks, but we'll see.
And then the shadow of his dad. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
that
yeah,
becomes an angle at some point in time. Marlena becomes a cudgel in between all of it. And, it just starts to play out that way. And, but none of it could, I mean, even when we get to the Gold Dust era, yes, it's extremely over the top. Like it's out of control. But the
yeah. Mhm.
matches were still good from the shit
Yeah,
that I saw. You
yeah.
know, it's like he's just like a really good wrestler, and he was just doing anything he could to get out of his dad's shadow.
He's phenomenal now.
Yes, I've seen. Yeah, when he's on
He's
AEW.
great.
Yeah, just I
I
mean,
mean, he
he's
wrestles
so
like
good.
every
6 months at this point. Yeah,
every 13 weeks, but
yeah, it's something. This match is just nothing. I mean, it's really just a showcase for him. 6 minutes, 33 seconds.
yeah.
He did a press slam in there, which was kind of weird. He
Yeah.
press slam Buddy Landale, but he hits the bulldog for the W. I mean, it was fine. Again, there is a world where if Buddy Landale had his head on straight, he's one of your top heels. He really is. He's an obnoxious prick, and he comes off that way. The whole act is perfect, even though it's a rip of Ric Flair. But like he could have been something. He could have been a contender, baby. But yeah, he got I got demons. So yeah, look, that's it for him. Also, we get a Missy Hyatt backstage spot
Oh
where
man.
she's
Oh
going
Lord.
to, yeah, I know, where she tries to go into the locker room and gets chased out by Stan Hansen. MAGA aside, she looks really good here. Yeah, we just gotta say that. Like Missy Hyatt looks amazing in this
Was
bit.
this the period where like the NFL they were having
Yeah, Sam White's got in trouble.
NFL interview? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, when Sam White should kick that lady out, and I think there was somebody else too that didn't want ladies in the locker room or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna just pretend that
she stayed that age.
at a certain point, like that there was someone else took Missy Hyatt's name
She's a
later
scroll.
down the
She's a
road. Yeah,
scroll. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Next up, y'all, the match is the Royal Family, Jack Victory, and who's the other dude?
Rip Morgan.
Rick Morgan. Yeah, that's exactly. And some Three
So Rip
Musketeer outfit.
Morgan was the flag bearer for the sheep herders,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and
And
then
then Jack Victory he was in
Jack O
UWF.
Victory.
Yeah, he was in UWF
He
when
was in
didn't he date?
AWA, I think, and yeah,
Wasn't he with Missy Hyatt?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, he sucks.
yes,
His body is not made for wrestling
yeah.
at
He's
this
going
point.
in the opposite direction of Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, his body is made for childbearing at this
And
point.
is this not the? It's not the. This is not the Confederate team.
No, it is the Confederate team. They changed the name.
Hmm.
I wonder why.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. I wonder why they changed it when they were walking out in Confederate dusters with Confederate
Hmm.
flags on their dusters and their draws. Yeah, I wonder why they changed the name. Now they are the Southern Boys. No, no, the Young
The
Pistols.
Young
Excuse me.
Pistols. They were the
Yes, they have
Southern.
guns now on their tights, which is possibly problematic as well. But yeah, that's Steve Armstrong and what's Tracy
Tracy
Smothers,
Smothers.
RIP 2020. And again, it's a classic tag team babyface match. But the freaking Royal Family, they're awful. They suck. Like, I
Yep.
mean, Rip Morgan's not that bad. Jack Victory's terrible.
Yep.
He's a worse Danny Spivey, which we're coming up to here in a
Yep.
second.
That's a
And
good. That's a good. That's a good
yeah,
comparison.
it's terrible. And I'm like, this dude is awful. And they get the heat on. I think it was the other Armstrong there, and then there's a tag and a almost a kangaroo kick or an attempted kangaroo kick situation. And
I have to confess, like
yes.
I don't know I know what it is, but I've never
Mm.
actually seen the kangaroo kick because I
Oh,
don't.
hello, fellow kids. Okay, so yeah, with MJF and with Adam Cole with his babyface, essentially babyface turn because they have turned MJF into a full-on babyface at this point. He does like it's a kangaroo kick. It's a drop kick where one foot hits each person. That's it. Kangaroo kick.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah. So if they're two
I mean,
dudes
I
standing
assumed
there,
it was like that. I assumed it
yes,
was a like, yeah.
yes. But he does like a little hop around like a kangaroo before he does
Oh
it to
no.
get the crowd all hyped for it. Yeah. I mean, we rarely talk modern wrestling on here. MJF's a superstar. Like, I mean, pretty
Well,
much the
no, no,
only
no, no. He will be a superstar
in the
when he gets
WWF.
out of the clown show that he's currently mired in.
Correct. Yeah, I understood. But he is an absolute like he's it's really the only reason to watch at this point, to be fair, is what his segment is. And
Yeah.
yes, in 2024, whenever he's able to get out of that contract and go to WWE, he's going to
Please,
kill it there. He's going to
please.
kill it there. Just his mic skills, his I mean, there's he is Taylor, man. He's super young. I think he's under 28.
Yeah.
Like, so he's ready to go into his prime. He should not waste it in AEW with all that bullshit that goes on over there. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, he's really good. I'm not maybe not so much as the kangaroo kick, but yeah, there's that. All right. So yeah, the young pistols, not the Southern boys or the wild-eyed Southern boys, they don't do that. All right. So let's see. Then during the match, did you see that when the match went dark, like the lights and shit went out during the match, and they had to
Mm-mm.
like relight it. It came back a little bit later. It was kind of whatever. Let's see. Lots of empty seats. I said. Yeah, that's just whatever. The Armstrong. The heat was on the Armstrong. A lot of rest holds at the end. Kangaroo kick to finish, and then we get a bit with DDP in the back. Diamond Dallas Page, well before he's a wrestler at this point in time. He's just a mouthpiece, excuse me, for the Freebirds. About how they're a great team. They're feuding with Doom for the World Tag Team Championships later on tonight. So the question is, not counting this promo, how you feel about DDP as a
DDP,
continuum? As a
yeah,
continuum,
yeah.
like
DDP was the only person who wasn't over and then got over in the NWO era.
mm,
Um, and and from that regard, like he was the only non NWO person who stood out during a long period of WCW.
right,
I did his yoga,
yeah,
free disclosure,
yeah,
which was like, is like he shills the fuck out of it, but
mm-hmm,
I think any form of yoga is probably effective.
mm-hmm,
So not necessarily, his or whatever. So no, I'm a fan. I think
mm-hmm,
they gave him a weird stalker angle with the Undertaker and the
mm-hmm,
WWF and he got buried.
yeah,
But no, I mean the diamond cutter was over as
way over,
fuck.
yes,
And when he like when they, I can almost picture it in my mind when they when the outsiders came out and they talked and they were like, hey, we wanted you in the NWO, but you were like neighbors with Eric, so we had to like wait till he
mm-hmm.
came out or whatever. And he was like, okay, shook their hands and diamond cut the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah,
And like he never joined. Like
yeah,
he in my mind, he's the only person who wasn't in the NWO that got over
and
after the NWO.
he never went red, black and white, like he never did. And so I got that part. The diamond cutter was way over. Like once he got it over,
It was
I
the
mean,
Stone Cold Stunner. It
yeah, it
was
was. Yeah, it.
equivalent to the Stone Cold
Everybody
Stunner.
was waiting, and I remember him coming world champion too. I remember that, like, it was kind of an underdog story. I kind of vaguely remember him from this time, from vaguely remember watching wrestling at this time. And I remember back then, I was just like, this is stupid. Like, I don't know why he's doing Michael Hayes' gimmick when you
Mm.
have Michael Hayes. And like,
Yep,
it
that's
doesn't
fair.
make any sense. So I'm like, okay, but And then when he became a wrestler, it was just like kind of like a dude, like okay, it didn't really mean anything. And then I remember when he feuded with Savage during that NWO time, I was like, oh, I think this dude is pretty good, like But again, Savage could make anybody look pretty good, and so then later on when you heard like, oh, he lived next door to Bischoff, and they're kind of like shenanigans in that regard, I guess. But I kind of liked him, but I never was like way over the top in it.
And
But
I thought the thing was like he got in the business and he got hurt and then he had to
mm,
manage and then for whatever reason, whatever he was hurt with, he got
mm,
over. I don't know if it was like back problems that he figured out how to work around or knee or whatever.
yeah,
But that was what I heard was like he had gotten hurt initially and then primarily became a manager and then somehow worked through it. I don't know exactly what his story is.
HGH. All right, but yeah, and I mean, and to be fair, his
Triple H
greatest,
minus one H plus one
yeah,
G.
and to be fair, his greatest contribution, he gave us Kimberly Page.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Yeah, so thank you for that because this is me flipping through my channels. If you're watching on YouTube, 40-year-old version. Okay. All right, we're done. I don't need to watch any rest of this shit
So I was trying
because
to. I was like, is she one of the Diamond Dolls at this point? That was like the
oh
primary
no,
thing. Yeah,
no, not at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That
was
was
looking
my
to see.
primary
Yeah,
research.
yeah, and
I
then
was trying to
yeah, I
conduct.
mean, he gives us Kimberly Page. Kimberly Page gives us Nitro Girls. I mean, in and of that, in and of itself, that's more than a contribution enough for us. But yeah, she's great. Was great. I haven't seen her. I don't know. I can't imagine she fell off the earth and like in looks wise or whatever. But yeah, good
Could be
times.
MAGA though.
Yeah, he's canonically Jewish, much like the Thing. So I would imagine that he's not American, but he
No,
lived.
her.
Oh yeah, 53%. But also yeah, he might be too because I mean, he's friends with
He's just
Bischoff.
trying to get that DDPY money.
Yeah, he's friends with Bischoff though. Bischoff's mag as fuck. So
Oh well, then there you
yeah,
go.
there you go. All right. Next match, y'all. It's the Z-Man RIP versus Terry Taylor, not Terrence yet. This is a no DQ match, lazy booking.
So
Because
now Terry Taylor was feuding with Captain Mike Rotundo, who was the first.
as a baby face,
Who
yes.
was
No,
the
it's no
first?
when he yeah, could no, Mike Rotunda was in the New York Foundation.
Right. And is
Yeah.
he gone now?
I don't know where Mike Rotunda is. We'll have to
I
check
think
the
he's
next pay-per-view.
headed to become IRS.
Oh, yeah. Because we're getting close to Vince. Are we close to Vince's steroid trial here? Because we're only in
Uh,
91. I think that's a little bit later. Mm. So yeah, he might be headed in
uh,
that direction too. Mm.
yeah, because I think so. The last pay per view, it was Terry Taylor versus Mike Rotunda, Captain Mike Rotunda, or
Mm.
I don't know what he was at the time.
Ho bitch.
I think he might be gone, and now
Okay.
Terry Taylor is the first, and then they'll get Richard
Richard
Morton and
Morton.
Thomas Rich,
Yeah.
Terrence
Oh,
Taylor.
I forgot that Tommy Rich joins too. God, I hope they don't turn. This would be typical. I hope they don't turn on Junkyard Dog. They make him heel. Although that's sounding very logical at this point. What are we gonna do? Turn on the black guy. Okay. Yeah, that's
That sounds
sounding.
like a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds very typical of WCW. Yeah, so no DQ, lazy booking. I've said this before. Terry Taylor is Ric Flair. He's got Ric Flair's gear. He's got Ric Flair's look. Essentially, he wrestles like Ric
Yeah,
Flair.
they have three
There,
Ric Flairs on this.
yeah, there. But there, again, legitimately, besides that fucking Red Rooster gimmick, there's no reason that Terry Taylor shouldn't have been a superstar, not a regional superstar. He should have been somebody that was a potential U.S. TV champ, U.S. champ, wrestled for the world title but never got it kind of situation. There's literally no reason for that. I mean, and he could talk enough to get by. I mean, he ain't Brad Armstrong, but there's no reason. He can do literally everything. He can sell and he can work as a heel too, as you see from here. Like it's
Yeah.
Vince. I mean, he should beat Vince's ass every time he sees him. He should punch him in the dick. Honestly, forgive him that gimmick because
So
you
the
ruined my
internet has
career.
told me that Mike Rotundo has indeed left
Mm.
the WCW and on a Clash of the Champions, which is probably what we should actually be reviewing because that's actually what we've seen. Uh, Terrence Taylor became the new core of the
hmm
York
Nice.
Foundation.
Don't look it up on your computer now, though. Did Marlena make it into Playboy in that era? I don't think she
Uh,
did.
I don't think she did, but was she on Missy Hyatt's channel?
Oh wait, what now? Missy had a channel. You
Something
you
like
break it?
before, like OnlyFans,
Oh wait,
Missy Hyatt and Sonny and I think uh Francine
what
and others did
stuff? I
stuff.
need I need a breaking news sounder like this. Breaking news. I did not know that.
Oh,
Uh,
I think they
interesting
had
things
they had
happening.
they had a
Yeah.
thing
Go.
going on.
Nice. And on and on. All right. So yeah, crowd dead as hell for this. I get Taylor so good.
And it's sorry, I didn't mean to impugn anybody, but I'm pretty
You feel
sure they
good about
found
that one? Yeah.
a vehicle to
Make
deliver something to the
content to
fans
others. Yeah.
beyond what might have been presented on TV.
Mm,
I don't know if that's true, but I think that is true.
nice. Well, Terrence Taylor gets the win here on a roll up when he pulls the tights at 10:59. Z Man again. Oh, Z Man is the white man Tito Santana for WCW, man, because this motherfucker never wins at
Well,
all.
except that nobody wanted him to win.
But that's
So
fair too. Yeah, we're impugning Tito Santana here.
yeah,
But yeah,
there's
awesome.
like we've all discovered we were two Santana fans, but there's not another podcast in the world. Oh shit, I always liked the Z Man. No, that's not
No, no,
happening.
nobody's asking
Well,
for
I
that.
don't know. Maybe
More Z, maybe in
he
Minnesota
was
somewhere.
was he the am? He was the am of the Can Am connection.
Yes, when he was there. Yeah. So
Right, yeah. So nobody gives a shit about
nobody
him.
gives him. Yeah. All right. There was a segment of the Danger Zone, their fake
Wait, so
version of
we
Piper's
and
Pit.
we had to have had the Missy Hyatt locker room interview
Yeah, I did
now,
that.
right?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we already went through there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they announced it and then she had it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah, and
she's
Stan they were like, well, Stan Hansen's not going to be in the Federation for long, so he can do this. He
yeah.
can do the job
Yeah.
by chasing her out of the locker
That's the
room.
only job he's gonna do tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
There's a Danger Zone segment with Paul Lee, with Elegante. He comes
Oh my
out.
God.
Yeah. Speaking of casual racism, that's not
That's not
casual.
casual at all.
I know. I'm being
That's not this
sarcastic. Yes, this is overt racism. And he comes out dressed as a matador to interview Elegante, who's from Argentina. Um, those things don't go together, y'all.
yeah, do they
FYI.
I don't think they bullfight in
No, they
Argentina. Do
don't. Yeah, it's just a band and a sombrero, which is a little bit more Mexican too. Like, anyway,
I
uh,
thought I was initially hyped because I was like, oh shit, is this the I want the belt promo? But they referenced it,
yeah, yeah,
and so it wasn't.
yeah, Elegante, R.I.P. as well. George is affectionately called by others. There, this is a
They
bad
really
bit.
they tried they protected him and tried to
Yeah,
get him. They tried to like get as much out of him as they can,
and he didn't get it at all. Like,
and
yeah, you
yeah,
feel bad. You feel bad. Like he
and then
just didn't get
eventually
it.
they put him in the slim good body werewolf outfit
Yeah,
in WWE.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
bad. Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, poor George. It did not go well. Ugh, sorry, but
he
yeah,
was, and he was awful in the ring. Like,
yes, that
I
too.
mean, I think we're trying to be sympathetic, but he was
He
terrible.
could do nothing,
Um,
literally.
but but they tried to mix him in, and they're going to try again.
Hmm
He's coming back later,
He's
but
gonna
yeah,
back it.
it's
Yeah. This ends in a body slam for Paulie. You know, Paulie, a solid, not conservative. He's a solid 160 pounds lighter than he is currently. Solid.
yeah, he's a
Like
different
he's
person now.
huge now. I mean, he's a very
It's Alfred Hitchcock.
Thin man. Yeah, yeah, no, right. It's terrible. Um, so yeah, they try to promote the Japan tour. That's that pay-per-view that's coming up next, but we're not gonna watch that because I don't even think that's on the network. All right, our US history. Oh, US history. Wait a minute. Wait, is this right? Yeah. Wait, hold on. What's the next match?
Vader and Hansen.
Yes, that's it. Yes, Vader. Yeah, that's right. Vader versus Stan Hansen.
Complete
Uh,
schmaz.
yeah, R.I.P. for Vader as well. 6 minutes of just them essentially beating the shit out of each other. To
Have
be
we
honest
figured
with you.
out how MAGA Stan
Uh,
Hansen is?
no, I did not continue to look it up, but I feel good. I feel pretty certain that he's probably super mega or ultra. I need to
But
know where he's
but
living
to be
currently.
fair, I feel like we would have said that about Jim Cornette, and that's
Yeah, that is a very fair
diametrically opposed to
yes, that's
MAGA.
exactly. Yeah, so we don't want to make really bad words about Stan Hansen, but I mean, again, both of these dudes are huge in Japan. I'm big in Japan. Both of these dudes are huge in Japan.
Mr. Big.
Yeah, so they're not going to lose. This is like a continuation of, I think, something that Jim Ross alluded to that they had over there. And it's just, bad blood. And they just beat the shit out of each other for 6 minutes. I mean, there's clotheslines, there's on the floor, they're on the announce desk. I mean, it's a slobber knocker, I believe, would be an appropriate word, which is
Yeah.
fine. Going in, if you didn't know what you knew, what we know now, like, oh shit, that's just like two dudes beating each other. Vader's great. Stan Hansen, I'm starting to gain a little bit of appreciation because we didn't really get a chance to see much of him, but I could see why he was big in Japan, for strong style or whatever, beating up people. Like, I get that part of it. And Vader's gonna become a fairly large portion of this WCW part here very soon. So yeah, I was a big Vader fan then. It's when he could do the moonsault, when he wasn't too huge. Like I was a big fan. So yeah, but this was just nothing, just a big fight,
This match
double
was
DQ.
trash.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
whatever. Just beat everybody up. We need to, 7 minutes. Just go out there and do it. All right. Next up, Lex Luger, y'all, versus Dan Spivey, the one of the again, like the Freebirds, continually on these damn podcasts, on these pay-per-views. He sucks. My note says Luger is significantly bigger than the last time we saw him. Like noticeably
I didn't
bigger.
register that, but I can't
That
refute that.
motherfucker is, I mean, again, from back in my day of hanging out with one of my college roommates who was a bodybuilder or whatever, he just, when I would turn it on, he'd be like, that dude's huge. And he'd be like, yeah, he's on this, and this to be able to get that big. Like Luger's big here. And then again, when we get to Nitro, when he gets that secondary run, like where he beats Hogan for the belt, he's monstrous at that time. Like his chest is so freaking big, and he's much bigger than he is right now, and he's huge here. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Luger the baby face. It doesn't really work, but he's working here. Something that we've discovered over this time. He's such a better worker than we remember. He's so
Yeah.
fucking good.
We
Like
we we every time we do this, we
yeah,
we owe Luger an apology.
yes, we disparaged him for years.
And on we owe Luger an apology on behalf of the entire populace of wrestling fandom. Like
Yes, yeah,
it's unfairly disparaged as
yeah.
like not a worker, and
He could
really,
sell. He could
yeah,
sell. He could work his. I'm like looking at his punches. Like those actually look pretty good too. Like he could bump, enough for somebody that
yeah,
size. Hell, his promos are better than Sting's.
yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
dude, I have no idea why we freaking. And it's not like in a day of smart fans or podcasts or hearing back stories or whatever. For whatever reason, we were just shitting on Luger, and I don't
Well, I
understand.
think the issue is like he's like WCW NWA is the smaller wrestler. The work it's
Yeah,
not the it's not we were kind of led to believe like the big meathead was eventually cannon fodder for Dusty to roll through or
yeah,
whatever. And so he was kind of the outlier from everything else we'd seen, and that was the kind of spot we put him in, as
yeah,
opposed to WWF. Like he would have been somebody that Hogan would have rolled through.
right.
Who would got a push for a while, got a DQ Vic, got a
Yeah.
tag team Vic, and
And
then got fucking pinned flat, and then went back to the mid card.
I'm glad you brought up Hogan. And by the way, fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Um, Luger hulks up here,
Oh,
like
yeah.
in this match after a pile driver. He gets pile driven and bounces up like Hawk and starts to know and like Spivey's like going on him and hitting him and whatever. Now again, in a Hogan situation, he would have hulked up, he would have did that and leg drop or foot boot leg drop pinfall. But the
Mm.
match goes on and he winds up getting hurt again and they wind up getting heat on him again and like back to reverse chin locks. I'm like, this match, one of my notes in here says this match is too long for two big guys. Spivey,
Yeah.
remember, is Stan Hansen's protege that they established in the previous pay-per-view. So maybe this is a continuation of
It
that
was
after
Sid
Stan Hansen
Vicious's like stand-in
second.
for whatever, and he
Yeah.
gets pinned on a roll-up. Was that
Yes,
or
he gets pinned
whatever?
on a roll up. Yes,
That's
he does.
bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
He should have got racked the fuck
Yeah.
out.
I had no idea why they were pushing Dan Spivey. He sucks. Has one of the worst haircuts of all time, by the way. And this shit, he sucks. Like one of the
Yeah.
worst. I have no idea who he knows that would allow him to get these matches and whatever. Yeah, he sucks. But yeah, Luger's great. I know who Luger hulks up, and yeah, I'll roll up, and there's our win at 12:52. So they had announced that before, like, oh, there's a new belt for the United States champion. They're going to be presented by former champion Nikita Koloff when he comes in. So he comes in, he presents him with the belt, like a kapow in your face with this belt, literally.
The former tag
And
team champion. I
yeah,
gotta know what Nikita doing.
yeah, what is Nikki doing? And so my one note about Nikita, nice do rag, bro. Like for real, nice do rag. Two, the accent is it's Halle Berry in the original X-Men. It's in, it's out, it's there, it's not. It's just kind of like a round accent adjacent. So yeah, he cuts a promo about he sat home for 2 years and watched the title change.
Hold up. If I didn't know better, I think you might have disparaged Halle Berry. If that's the case, we got beef, sir.
I was not disparaging Halle Berry at all. I'm just saying her accent as Storm, Aurora
That was a
Monroe.
choice.
Yeah, she made a
That was
choice
a
in the
choice.
first half of the movie, and it made the choice in the second half of the movie. And the second half was like, I can't do that shit no more. It's
That
terrible.
that was completely justified.
On the director's commentary, no, but seriously, yeah. Nikita said he tried to do it. He even dropped a Jatoa in there somehow, but it was bad. Like he just couldn't figure it out. By the way, Tony Schiavone, our backstage interviewer, not on commentary anymore, but yeah, he's back there. He had a big chuckle when Missy Hyatt got thrown through whatever too, or thrown out of the locker room. Yeah, Schiavone sucks. So yeah, but yeah, no, it will be a feud with Nikita. I kind of remember this. Didn't they feud when we first started doing this shit? Wasn't Nikita feuding with Luger? I
I don't
swear
think so.
we watched a match with Skinny Nikita.
Oh,
I thought that
see,
was against
again,
Luger.
we the stuff we've actually seen is Clash of the Champions.
Oh,
Like this is all a mystery to us. We if we
okay.
were actually like watching Clash of the Champions, we'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember this. This shit was great." But
Because that was only one night and it wasn't like on
no,
Saturdays where we would
because
have
you
been
didn't
like,
have to pay for it.
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no,
But again,
because it was free and on TV.
yeah, okay. I have to look into
And
that too.
because it was free and on TV, they were actually telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
The it wasn't just the payoff.
Yeah, that's fair. Damn. Well, Durag Nikita is back, y'all, but not for long. Nikita doesn't have any WWF run, correct?
Correct.
I think the story is at some point in time he married some lady who had cancer, which is why he had to quit to go take care of her. And then I don't know if she died or she left him or something happened. And then he came back and then he found Jesus and then he was done. Like he just
See,
never came back at all.
I think this is his back. But
Okay.
I don't,
But I don't know.
that's
I don't know
also
if
what I
she
heard.
died. I don't know if she died or she went into remission. Something like that. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing like, oh, I found the love of the game again. It definitely wasn't that. Something happened with that lady. All right. And she's looking that up. Our next match is mm, damn. For the World Tag Team Championships, y'all. Okay, so when we did the end of the show last time, you were like, you ain't gonna like the start of this or whatever. And I don't, but also, well, it's just handled poorly more than anything. Like, so this is the turn for Ron Simmons to be a single, and it's just eventually gonna wind up with him being the world champion, which is fine. But the Freebirds suck.
Yeah.
Like this version of the Freebirds with DDP and the freaking what do they call them? The Diamond Dolls. This sucks, man. Like
And
they're
they don't
bad.
necessarily have to. Like, uh, Jimmy Garvin's fine.
Mm,
I mean, but they present themselves as a fucking clown show.
yeah. Slash, they also think they're the greatest tag team of all time at the same time. Like it's the weirdest freaking line.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
don't get it. It's just like, man, you guys are kind of. I was like, oh, okay, you're gonna be those dudes that are obnoxious heels, but just bump like crazy for the babyface. But then you're also trying to wrestle like fucking baby faces. Babyface heels don't moonwalk, man. I
yeah,
need that on a
yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah. Heels don't move. Yeah, like I the one thing. Well, there's my. I mean, a thing I've taken from this podcast series is like I never understood when Doc Hendricks showed up in WWF. Now I know. Now I
Bury
know why
himself.
he's disavowed any prior knowledge of Michael Hayes.
Awful. And again, I think again we maybe we'll see some of it or watch some of it back after this Von Erich movies comes out or whatever. How
Oh
huge they were,
God,
and
I was.
I'm not seeing that. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I'm so hyped for that. I saw
Oh
that.
no, yeah, it looked
I'm
great.
supposed to be. I'm gonna be in the theater for that.
No, no, that's entertainment purposes only. I mean MJF's in that too. But anyway, I hear about how hyped they were in Mid South and then how they were in World Class too, or whatever. Like I get that part, and I remember them in Georgia a little bit as well. So it's not like I'm unfamiliar. But Michael Hayes, again, as the mouthpiece, I guess, was probably better than the wrestler because what we're seeing as the wrestler, he sucks.
The mouthpiece. So Hayes is the mouthpiece of Roberts as the worker
Mm,
and Gordy as the enforcer.
muscle, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And what we saw in UWF was Michael Hayes would run his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Hayes and Roberts would get the shit kicked out of him. Gordy would come back from Japan and kick the shit out of anybody who would kick the shit out of
Mm-hmm.
Roberts and Hayes while he was gone.
Right.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But we no longer have Roberts. We no
Yeah.
longer have Gordy. And now it's like
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck this is.
It's bad. Like it's like, man, y'all are rest. That's what I might know. I was like, who's the baby face in this match?
And at least they don't have the Confederate flag painted on their face this
Yeah, fuck.
time.
Yeah, or the over exaggerated Ziggy Stardust makeup. It,
That being said, Bad Street USA is still that
yeah,
song to come
yeah. Fuck you.
out.
So
Bad
the
Street, Atlanta, GA.
oh stop it. So yeah, and again, I don't know who the baby faces in this match. They're wrestling like baby. The Doom is wrestling like heels, so assuming making them baby faces. Also, racism makes them baby faces,
But
and
they were. I mean, what were they against the Horsemen? Because that was like the last series. Like, I think
yeah,
two pay-per-views prior to this, two
yeah.
and one, they were wrestling the Horsemen in
Yeah,
different
but
combinations.
racism also made them the freaking heels, the horseman baby faces in that too. This is what's
Yeah,
happening here as well. So they're just leaning into it. And so when they do get a chance, the match goes on. There's a brass knuckle spot where Butch Reed hits Ron Simmons by mistake. It leads to the pinfall and the championship
yeah,
change. And then they turn on Ron Simmons. Like,
yeah.
like, okay, why? because you did hit me with some
Well, because
fucking
Butch
brass
Reed was
knuckles.
on his way out.
Oh, is
I
that
think
what
it
it
was.
is? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Where's he going?
The natural Butch Reed.
Oh, motherfucker. No comment. Damn it. So
And I
yeah,
don't know if Teddy Long goes with him or what does Teddy Long do
Teddy
after
stays there
this.
for a bit. I think he's there for a bit, but I could be wrong. I don't think he goes to WWF
No,
until
you're right.
the
He's
merger.
in. He's in. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, we don't go till it's player. So yeah, okay, damn, ugh, that sucks. Well, yeah, so yeah, we do get the turn on Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons becomes babyface here again. This is going to pay off with him being the champion here in a bit, and that's fine. But new champs, they better lose them belts here soon. That's all I know. All right, then we get
Wait,
to the
no, maybe I'm wrong
wait.
because he goes on the. When was he the natural?
No, I don't think because I think he fused with Ron Simmons initially on this bit, and then he takes the title from Vader. Gets the title from Sting, and like this is a time like after Flair leaves, which because Flair's about
Mm-hmm.
due out of here in about a year or less. So yeah, I thought he feuded with
No, I think
Butch.
he's on. So when the fuck was he? When was he the natural?
I think he might have been the natural before he came back to
Yeah, I think you're
WCW.
right. Yeah, 86 to 88.
Yeah, damn, when he
All
was
right.
really
So
good.
no, yeah, no, this is the end of his career because he goes to the Independents and then
Yep, that's it. Yeah, he had bad knees according to Cornette. All right, so the War Games, the match beyond y'all is the main event here. Um, okay, so we've watched. I would say we've probably watched what at least two other War Games on this podcast
yes.
series. They've kind of sucked. This one didn't suck because you think about it, except for Larry Zbyszko, all the participants in this shit are really really good. And Larry Zbyszko's filling in for Arn Anderson, who's hurt. This is pre Sid trying to kill him. So that's because initially I was like, oh, was this when like they couldn't be in the ring with one another? I don't think this is before Sid tried to kill him with the scissors.
I thought the last one was pretty good.
You think which one was that one with?
So the first one was where JJ Dillon tapped out,
Yeah.
which to me is a cop out.
Mm.
The second one was when Hawk fucking like he choked out Jimmy Garvin with like an overhead neck breaker. I think the producer's headphones have just died and he stepped away. So so in the first war games, it was basically the Road Warriors and Dusty and I don't even remember who the other person was and Paul Ellering. Might have been Magnum, might have been Nikita. I'm not sure. I don't remember the timing.
Yep. Sorry about that.
You got
Battery's
all right.
dying.
So the first one was Dusty and the Road Warriors and Paul Ellering and was it Magnum or Nikita?
Nikita. Yeah, Magnum never
Nikita
participated in.
versus the Four Horsemen and JJ Dillon.
Yeah.
And they tapped out JJ Dillon, which to
Yeah.
me is kind of a cop out.
Mm.
The second one was the Road Warriors and uh shit, who was I gotta use the internet.
No,
I
hold
remember
on.
the end, but I don't remember who was the Road Warriors. Oh, they did that twice. So the second one actually was the Road Warriors, Nikita, Dusty versus the Four Horsemen and the War Machine,
Mm.
which was Big Bubba.
Yeah.
Then the Road Warriors, Ron. God damn. So this was a house show. Been a gang of these.
Oh no. Well, that's while you're looking that up. That was my thing. Is just like, man, they when the war games becomes like an annual event, then it loses its meaning. Like it should be the blow off for some like major feud between these people, not just oh well we have to do that because we have the double ring and the double cage or whatever. Like
Right.
that's what's my point.
So I'm
Like
remembering the one where they after the match they injured Animal. Oh, it
mm-hmm.
was the Samoan SWAT team
Yeah.
and the Freebirds.
Yeah, it was like Doctor Death
Oh yeah,
and
versus Doctor Death and the Road Warriors, and I don't even know who
I think it
else.
was the Midnight Express.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah,
Mm,
that's right. Midnight Express, Doctor Death, and Road Warriors
mm,
versus Samoan SWAT team and the Freebirds.
mm,
And yeah, with yeah,
somebody.
yeah. So that was good
Mm.
because like, and again, Michael Hayes was shit heel and like was came in and DDT'd
DDT
everybody,
to
but
everybody.
Jimmy Garvin got like executioner neck breaker tapped out.
Mm.
No, you probably should quit. Um. So yeah.
Yeah, I, I didn't. This one I thought was really good. Like I thought all the people that are in it, like I said, with the exception of freaking Larry Zabisco, were pretty good in the whole thing. Like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like there's not a bad wrestler in this.
Yeah. No.
Again, unless you're thinking
Yeah.
about Zabisco, because when it's like, oh well, he's subbing for it, I'm like, oh well, Zabisco's about to tap, but that really wasn't the case. So, if you don't remember the war game rules, first two participants are in there for 5 minutes, which is way too long because that's a whole ass wrestling match. And our first two participants are, Bengal superstar Brian Pillman versus Barry Windham, who's got the very short haircut at this point in time, so it's making very and kind of indistinguishable from freaking Sid Vicious right now. And they go in, they have a match. Like Brian Pillman's all fired up. He's got the injured shoulder from something that previously had happened, but he's all fired up. I mean, he beats the shit out of Barry Windham. Barry Windham sells like crazy for him. He, runs him into the cage. He's biting him, which is probably not a great idea in a pre Magic Johnson era here. Like not, but he Barry Windham gets color. Like, I mean, it's a really like intense 5 minutes, and Pillman's look great in that. And then you just get the 2-on-1 moving over time. 2-on-1 with I think the 2-on-1. I think Flair comes in for the 2-on-1 against Pillman, and then they run him into something, and then the second one is Sting that comes in for the 2-on-2. And that's every 2 minutes after that. And it
Mm-hmm.
just becomes a big schmoz over the course of time. You don't really see anything. Everybody's just doing their moves back and forth to one another. And by the time you get to the end, I think Rick Steiner goes for 3-on-3. Zabisco was for the 3-on-2. Most everybody, Flair gets really good color. My note on here, like the spot where they give Flair gets color. He's so good at like hiding that shit. And he comes out with the freaking crimson duff freaking mask, man. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so good at hiding it. And then Sid Vicious comes in for the 4-on-3, and Scott Steiner is the last one in, and then you get the brawl for however many, the match beyond begins. And I think it's great because Dusty's there. It's his match. He created it.
Yeah.
Like he's able to get commentary. Like I thought that part was really cool. And then Pillman is the one that winds up submitting. But he gets first off, he gets thrown into the cage like on a like not a backdrop, but like he just runs to Sid, and Sid throws him into the cage when he comes down. Then he gives him a power bomb on his neck, like because they just didn't
Yeah. Yeah.
factor in how tall Sid is and how tall the cage is, and he literally drops him on his neck. Like that had to be completely legit. And then, much like Moxley and Ray Phoenix, they do it again then. And then he
Yep.
drops him on his fucking head again. And, he can't pin him. And Elegante comes down and surrenders for him. And then that's the match. Like, I thought it was really good. You got all your spots in. People, I actually thought it was really good. The crowd dead for the entire time. They were up for this shit, especially for Sting and the Road War or the Steiners.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I honestly think the earlier ones were worse. I think the one we just watched was good. This one was good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hold
Yeah.
on.
And but again, this is another example of like them trying to get something out of Elegante. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they were like if they had teamed up because they were like acting like this was his boy and he came out
Yeah.
and was like
Well, big
but by the
man,
same
little
token, I was
man.
like, why does Elegante get to come out and get in the match again? Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's terrible.
but
But
obviously that was the there,
yeah,
but Pillman, who had been like a Z man level mid card, there
mm,
like he gets beat, but doesn't submit in the match beyond and is put here on the same level these folks. I mean, they're trying to make something out of him,
yeah, and
obviously.
And it's kind of weird that because you could tell, I mean, again, Sid, not the smoothest worker of all. You could tell after he dropped him on his head, he was really like, oh shit, is this dude okay? And then I think they had real life beef too. Like I think there's like the story where they had like a fight in the locker room as well, um, between him, Sid and Brian Pillman. So I don't know if this is before this, after this, or whatever. But yeah, not it's not a good look for Sid. Sid also ain't going to be much longer here for this federation either. And we're going to come to that
Well,
here
he's tailor made
momentarily.
for the
Oh,
WWF. So.
tailor made. Yep. Except for them legs. Um, literal chicken legs. So yeah, and that's the pay per view,
Well,
y'all.
Brock Lesnar has.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think Vicious has bigger legs than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
All right.
but didn't snap him jumping off the off.
Because he wasn't jumping off anything ever because he knew better. All right, so that's pay per view. They try to like go back and like do this thing, but they have like a glitch. At my other note when the cage was coming down over the ring, and they have their freaking Walmart sparklers going off. The production value is so minor league compared to the WWF. It really is like you really feel like you're watching like the minors. You really do. Like
Yeah,
this is not a major league production. And the fact that, again, they never wanted to put any money into that until later on, just it really shows
yeah,
dramatically.
yeah.
So all right. So that's all. That is freaking what is this? SummerSlam, Super Brawl? What the hell is this crap called?
WrestleWar.
WrestleWar. That's so WCW, by the way. Yes, because we wrestle here. Remember, y'all. So, what is the next WCW pay per view before we move on to we know which is WrestleMania for the WWF?
So having just watched Royal Rumble, the next
Next,
WCW
yeah, you
pay per
said
view.
it's Super Brawl 1.
So there's ignoring the New Japan Super Show.
Yeah, because again, I don't think we can see it on the cock.
Super Brawl 1.
Mm, I have a bad feeling about this Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it's also very New Japan flavored.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Why?
so wow, a lot of dark matches.
Mm.
Oh well, let's just read them. Dark match. Animal, Hamaguchi, Kengo Kimura, Osama Kido, and Kentaro Hoshino defeated Super Strong Machine, Hiro Saito, Tatsuishi Goto, and Norio Hanago.
Man.
Then, in the second match,
Then he said then.
that was so the 8-man tag. Second
Sure.
match, in a 6-man tag.
Quattros match. Mm.
This is a trios match.
Mm.
Tim Horner, Brian Pillman, and Tom Zank.
This is
Oh,
dark.
no, this is on the pay per
This is
view.
on the card. Okay.
Versus Shiro Koshinaka, Koniako Kobayashi, and Takayua Izuka. I feel like I'm the goddamn wrestler. Then there's a another dark match. Scott Norton,
Oh
the
yeah,
worst
Japanese
vanilla
superstar.
big man.
Yes,
Oh my
but
god,
huge in I'm huge in Japan though. Yeah, okay.
versus the Equalizer.
Denzel?
No,
Oh,
Jushin Thunder Liger
oh, okay. Yeah.
versus Akira Nogami.
Oh.
Arn and Barry versus Masa Saito and Masahiro
Hold
Chono.
up. Are you sure this ain't this Japanese show?
No, it's after the Japanese show.
So they do two. We're gonna have to skip this shit.
Oh no, shit! I am reading that. Sorry.
Man, I was about to say. That's a
Yeah,
lot of
that was.
Japanese folks.
All right, my bad.
Super Brawl 1.
All right, Super Brawl 1. Freebirds versus the Young Pistols.
Go back to the Japanese, man. Who Freebirds to the champion? I'm betting not.
They don't. Didn't they just win the championship?
They did on this pay-per-view we just watched. But 3 months from now, I'm betting that they're not.
They're not the champions. They lost on TV somewhere.
Of course they did. Good. All right. Freebirds
Uh,
and Young Pistols.
Freebirds
Again,
and Young Pistol.
continuing their
Uh,
streak.
Dan
Uh-oh.
Spivey and Ricky Morton.
And a singles?
Yep.
Is it a
Nikita
mullet versus?
Koloff and
Is it
Tommy
a mullet?
Rich.
Is it a mullet versus mullet match?
Nikita Koloff and Tommy Rich.
Yeah. Mm.
Dustin
Okay.
Rhodes and Terrence Taylor.
Mm.
Black
Yeah.
Bart and Big Josh, who is Big Josh is Doink the Clown, Maniac
Oh
Matt Bourne.
no! Yipes! You R.I.P.
Oz, which is Kevin
Kevin
Nash
Nash.
versus
Yeah.
Tim Parker. Brian
Who?
Pillman and Barry Windham. Oh boy, here we go. Sid Vicious and Elegante. Butch Reed and Ron Simmons.
There we go.
Sting and Luger versus the Steiner brothers.
Are the Steiners the champs? That would be my guess.
Uh, yes.
Okay.
Arn
Yeah.
Anderson and Bobby Eaton for the WCW World Television Championship.
There it is.
And then Ric Flair versus Tatsumi Fujinami.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, I was
I
totally
was about
reading
to
the
say. I was about to say. That's a lot of Japanese folks, man. I'm like, what the hell? All right. I'm trying to think what. Probably. I mean, no. Like we love classic wrestling, like Arn and Bobby Eaton. That
Yeah,
might
I
be
think
rough
that's
too.
the one to watch.
Yeah. All right. So
Or
get us.
or Elegante and Sid Vicious in a stretcher match for 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
Good Lord. Yeah, that might be it too. And again, I was like, what my initial thought is like Sting and Luger versus the Steiners, but that's going to come up so many times later
I
on.
think there's a Cornette watch along and it wasn't great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
Because
mean,
they didn't like
it's two baby
they didn't
faces.
know who was the baby face. They
Yeah.
couldn't like there was no but
Yeah.
Ron Simmons and Butch Reed
Yeah. What's the time on
in a
that?
steel cage, 9 minutes, 39
Mm,
seconds.
that sounds
But
good.
Bobby and Arn is 11:50.
Yeah, that sounds probably more our speed. All right. All right, let's get to WrestleMania, y'all, which will be the next one we review. 1991 WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 7,
This is the return of
March
Hogan to the
1991.
championship. March of 91.
Yep.
Mm,
The Rockers versus the Barbarian and Haku.
mm.
Dino Bravo versus the Texas
R-
Tornado.
RP.
The British Bulldog versus the Warlord.
Half a RIP. Mm-hmm.
The Hart Foundation versus the Nasty Boys.
This has to be the reformation of the Hart Foundation because Brett had been kind of a
Nope.
single,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
No?
Not
Okay.
at this point. So
Okay.
Brett and Jim,
Mm-hmm.
Rick Martel and Jake Roberts,
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker and Jimmy Snuka,
Mm. No
Randy
job in
Savage
there.
and Ultimate Warrior in a retirement match.
Mm. This does not feel like a WrestleMania card, by the way, but yes, go ahead.
Genichiro Tenryu and Koji Kitao versus Demolition, Smash and Crush.
Hey, you're really pushing the Japanese this year.
Mr. Perfect and Big Boss Man.
Mm. That might be a decent match.
The 11th match of the help me understand. Earthquake versus Greg Valentine? The
Every,
11th match of WrestleMania?
everybody needs a payday.
Legion of Doom and Power and Glory. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who getting pinned in
DiBiase and
that.
Virgil.
Mm.
Tito Santana and the Mountie at match 14.
14 matches. Hold up. Tell me Tito Santana could at least beat the Mountie. I didn't spoil it. You
And
can't
the
tell me
last match, Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan.
that's awful. I wonder why
I
Vince was.
chose to not tell you what you
Come
didn't want
on.
to hear.
I did what I already knew to be true. Ugh.
I guess I'll just throw salt in it. He couldn't not beat the Mountie in under 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
crap. All right, y'all. So that'll start to wrap us up here.
boy. So not to no sell the next two podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. We might have to hit that double like we did last time. because both of these
So we just
suck.
gone ahead and put all of 1991 in one
Yeah, because
podcast.
these suck. Oh my god, these are really. Those are real. That's a bad WrestleMania. The big granddaddy of them all, or whatever. That's a bad WrestleMania. Super Brawl one. Who cares? But that's a
Super
bad
Brawl actually
WrestleMania.
sounds like a
Yeah,
better
well,
lineup than
well,
WrestleMania
that's
7.
fair too. But holy shit. Okay, so yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap up. SoundCloud, well, podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, not Stitcher. It's gone. Good Pods, Google Play, all of those things. Look it up; it'll come right up, man. And then our next podcast, if you listen to any of our series, will be the X-Men '97. We're gotta finish that up and get through the second two issues of that for February of '97. So yeah, man. So as the WCW Saturday Night plays us out music on the podcast version, I'm the producer. I'm signing off. Go ahead and sign off, Brother Beavis.
See you next time.
We'll see everybody next time. Peace, everybody.